I just finished reading A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about it before I fully start this vlog. Quite frankly, this book was pretty disappointing. I was really looking forward to reading it because one of my favorite book talkers really loves this book and suggested it a lot, so I thought I would go ahead and give it a shot. This book is about a young woman named Effie who sees the Fairy King, and she's always been told that she's crazy and she has to take these pink pills to ward him off. Also is the only woman in the architecture college, which is not her dream, but it is as high as she can get because the literature college does not allow women to learn there. She wins this contest to go build the house of the late Imris Murden, who is her literary icon because he wrote this story about a woman and the Fairy King, but the woman prevails and it shows that she's strong despite things that have happened to her. That's where she meets Preston Hillary, who is trying to completely debase all of Murden's research. This book was very insanely predictable. I predicted the ending of the book by chapter 2, which is where the big plot twist came in. The book also moves super slowly until the last like 20%, where then everything was picking up and going. Also, the romance was just not it. While I did like them together once they'd gotten together, their rival slash enemies to lovers arc happened way too quick, where she hated him, but as soon as she actually met him, she was already in love and he was already in love with her. So that was just disappointing because I went into this expecting, especially because there's a sequel to it, that they weren't going to get together until book 2, and they're already basically together halfway through the first book. If you do really enjoy this book, that's great for you. This is nothing against you or your reading taste. I'm sure it is better than what I'm thinking of. However, I don't like to mix my fantasy with modern technology. Now that that's out of the way, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna spend the next week recording any summer fun activities I'm doing and also doing more of a reading vlog because that's what I'm really trying to do this summer, is read a ton. Today we are going to the pool. It is finally summer weather. Last week was super rainy and dreary. However, it is finally sunny out and warm out, and so I'm going to the pool with my family and my boyfriend, and that should be hopefully really fun, and hopefully the water isn't too cold because we went on Sunday and the water was actually freezing. Okay guys, I just got back from the pool and guess what I found on my porch? My June Owlcrate. It's kind of funny because it's June 30th, so it is the last day of June, but it did finally come and I'm happy for that. So let's go ahead and do some unboxing. Give you guys the first look. The first couple months there were sword pins, and now it looks like there's going to be heart pins. The cracks in my soul aren't broken places. Inspired by Daggermouth. I've heard about this book, but I've never read it. I'm gonna be honest, I think this is my least favorite pin in my collection. I'm not a very big fan of the colors or shapes. Hopefully next month will look better. My next item, is it like a coffee cup? But my enemies brought me war. I have no clue what this is from, but it looks like a coffee cup of sorts. It's insulated in some way. Les Miserables book pot. I have a couple book pots, but I can add this to the collection. That is a good one. To love or have loved, that is enough. Here is a closer look at it. I have a couple of these, and this fits the aesthetic of 2 of the 3 of them. One of them is like an Alice in Wonderland one, so it's lighter colors. Our headband inspired by R.F. Kuang's Babel. It probably doesn't look that cute on me right now because I just went swimming, so I'll have to try this on later. It has sheets of paper with words scribbled on them. I think with some of my outfits, especially in the winter, they will look adorable. Middle Earth map tea towel. Here. Maybe this will be used in my bathroom. That's fun. Oh, it's called All We Hunger For. Is this a baking? She's baking something. She's baking something. Now let's look at all the art, which is some of the best parts of these books. I'm already loving the initial cover art. I think that is such a beautiful cover. Look at them. They're like baking. That's cool. Oh, this seems like hopefully a cozy fantasy. And then it kind of wraps around here. Hopefully you can see that. It's here. And the sprayed edges, I always love a intricate sprayed edge. It's to be more of like a messy countertop, probably with stuff relevant to the book. And the other side is way different. Oh my gosh, look at this. It is definitely darker than the other side of it. And then this is the reversible cover. I like the cover they already have on it now, so I'm not gonna go ahead and reverse it. I'm just gonna leave it as is. I'm excited to read this book. It seems very unique. to. So I'm gonna take a shower now and probably dye my hair while I'm at it. Good morning, everyone. I just made it to my college campus because I have a couple of meetings today. I need to meet with the financial advising department for part of my scholarship. I need to clear something up real quick. And then I also need to meet with the HR department at 11:30 because I've recently been hired to work on campus at the Writing Center, which I'm actually so excited for because I feel like this is a real step in the right direction for what I want to do. While I do want to be an author and write my own books, I think a valid place of employment for me would also be somewhere where I'm editing. I really do enjoy editing and helping with the writing process in general, so I think this will be a good start just as like a little doorway or first job in a more literature-based place of employment. So let's go ahead and walk in and go to my first appointment with financial advising, and then we'll head over to the HR department. Alright, it is just now 10:30 and I'm already done with all my appointments. My first one with the financial advisor went super quick. She just needed a quick little document from me, and then I got out of that one super early, and I didn't think I was going to get out of it until 10:45. And I also assumed that the HR department was on the other side of campus. It was actually a hop skip away, so I did not need that much time to get there. I got there really early, but luckily no one was there, until they just got me in super quick, and they just needed like 2 documents, which I gave them, and then I was done. So it is 10:30 and I'm gonna head over to Dylan's to get supplies to make brownie sundaes because my friend is coming over tonight and we're gonna make those and watch the new Enola Holmes 3 movie for her birthday. I've just spent the past couple of hours editing, and oh my gosh, it really took it out of me. But I needed to get this video out today because it's July 1st, and I needed to get my halfway through the year book wrap-up out. I'm gonna spend the next little while doing some reading. Right now, I'm reading this book, Made Me Think of You by Livy Page. It's pretty cute so far. Cute and sad. The writing is a little bit immature, but the story itself is really sweet and heartfelt, and it's touching my heartstrings. I was reading this while waiting for my appointment earlier, and I had to stop myself from tearing up a couple times because like I can't go into my financial advising appointment crying. What do you mean he planned a holiday for her? Because they couldn't go on their honeymoon and he was supposed to go with her. This is making me kind of sad, guys. Hello everyone, it's been a couple days since I've recorded. On Thursday, I made it home from work and took a nap, and then I woke up with a 101-degree fever, and that lasted all through Friday. I really just didn't feel like recording either of those days, and all I did was lay in bed and sleep and nap, which was kind of disappointing because on Friday I was supposed to go to a really fun family pool party, and I thought that was such a good summer activity. It was so hot and so nice, and instead I just napped all day. I also have barely read at all because I haven't been feeling very good. And then yesterday was July 4th, but I didn't really record anything because I was still feeling a little under the weather. I was mostly just using the time to spend with my family and do some fun fireworks and everything. Today I've been trying to get out of my reading slump and really power through the book I'm reading. This book Made Me Think of You, which I'm still on. I'm gonna read for the next hour or so, just so that way I'm not laying in bed and doing nothing. At least I'm doing some reading, and then we'll see what I end up doing today. My boyfriend just got off work early and he wants to go to Barnes & Noble to get a book for himself, and I'm going to tag along because I want to get Agnes Albert's Mystical Cat Shelter. So let's go ahead and do a Barnes & Noble run. I just finished reading This Book Made Me Think of You by Libby Page, so let's talk about it real quick. The book is about a woman named Matilda Nightingale who lost her husband Joe about 6 months ago. January 5th, on her birthday, she receives a call from her local bookshop, Book Lane, and there's a man on the other end, Alfie, telling her that he has a package for her, a little birthday present from her late husband, Joe. At first, she's confused because she's like, that's not true. Joe's dead. I'm sorry, you have the wrong person. And then he tells her to come in because it is the right person. And she goes in and she learns that her late husband, who passed away, has ordered 12 months of books for her for his final birthday gift to her. By the way, it just makes me tear up thinking about that. That is such an act and sign of love, because when he first got his diagnosis, she fell out of love with reading and he wanted to help her find herself again. And some of the books are really beautiful and inspiring why he chose them, and some of them are just kind of fun and silly, and every single book has a letter attached to them. And I think that's the part of the book that made me tear up the most, is feeling Joe's love for her even past the grave. Matilda, who goes by Tilly, also kind of has to find herself on this own personal journey of grief and losing the love of her life. She does that by going to the bookshop every month and talking with Alfie, the owner, and reconnecting with friends and trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life now that Joe is gone. I don't want to spoil this book too much, but it was very sweet and cute and unique. It had a good, unique storyline that I've never seen before, which was very refreshing. I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars. It would have possibly been higher. However, I feel like the writing itself was decently amateur. I think one more pass through editing would have really helped it, but the story itself was very solid and I enjoyed it, and it definitely made me tear up and shed a couple of tears to read about Tilly's story and the grief and the love she'd lost. So if you're looking for a romance book that is a little bit different than something you're used to, go ahead and read This Book Made Me Think of You by Libby Page. Now I'm going to start my next book, which is hopefully the last book I'm going to be reading on my Kindle, and then I can get back into reading my physical books. It is The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, I think. I've been reading The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow for a little bit now. I'm on page 105, and honestly, it's really, really good. It's hard to put down. I'm loving our main character. I really think it's interesting to read from the POV of a man, but not like this big manly man. He's very soft and skittish, but he's brave beneath everything and under all of his layers. I love an academic man who wants to learn more about the world. I'm really enjoying this book. However, I just got to the plot twist, and I'm not completely sure if I'm going to continue liking it after this plot twist, but I'm gonna give it a chance and keep reading this plot twist, get past it, and see what happens. I thought I was gonna cry already, but I didn't, because like there's so much left in the book. There's no way this is just how it ends. So I'm gonna keep reading tonight, and that's gonna be the end of this vlog. I will see you all next time.